We'll try to help you to evaluate the past, present, and the future of business finance, identify issues in your access of finance, and hopefully we can provide some help to get you through the using evolving finance method to raise fund. Value a company using various techniques and forecasting method, and that will help to gain insights of different investors and recognize other factors that might affect investment readiness. The workshop will provide a snapshot of investment readiness and uncertainty. So we'll share practical knowledge and tools, and it will be practice-based professional workshop, and will be interactive with hands-on case studies and analysis tools. So this workshop has been fully funded by the Best Growth Hub as part of the Southeast Local Enterprise Partnership. The Best Growth Hub is a completely free and impartial business support services for businesses throughout Essex. So if you would like further information, please contact the hub directly. I'm Dr. Ying Wang. I'm from ARU, Anglia Ruskin University. And I developed the workshop materials, and reproduction or unauthorized use is strictly prohibited. If you have any query, please contact me directly. My email address is ying.wang@aru.ac.uk. If you want the workshop materials for today directly, please send me an email. I can forward the materials directly to you. Otherwise, you can contact the Best Growth Hub to get the material. So the workshop will carry on for 3 days. And we will use 3 days to go through the business finance, have a look at access of finance, like traditional finance, as well as innovative finance at Fintech. Tomorrow, we'll look into how to value a business through looking at its performance, valuation, and forecasting techniques. The final day, we will start to look at the investors, particularly focus on the equity investment, venture capital, and crowdfunding, so that after you know your investor, you can look into how to prepare a big page. So we'll share a term sheet about the investment from a venture capital with you as well. At the end of today, you will be able to review and evaluate the health of your company's finance in the post-EU exist and COVID-19 world. We try to appraise various business finance channels, including innovative finance and fintech, so that you know that which one is more suitable, for example, for your business, and under such circumstances that we have the different challenges going on. Hopefully, you can apply those finance knowledge to help you make rational finance decisions under uncertainty. Before we start the finance session, you need to review of your business, particularly under such uncertainty. The EU exists, the deal is coming on, we don't know what will happen yet. COVID-19 circumstances, we need to live with the next normal. We don't know when this will be safe for all the business return to normal. So we need to prepare ahead as well. So tackling uncertainty, we want to know the current strength, what are the current strategies, and what are your plans for your business. It depends on really under this COVID-19 situation. Some business might grow fast, some might shrink. We also hear a lot of big names that go to liquidation or under administration. So that's a lot of uncertainty. Most of the business will stay about the same in this COVID-19 situation. So you need to think about what is your current strategy and what is your plan for the future. This is about the business overall, the strategy. We'll touch upon of this a little bit next session as well. So tackling planned uncertainty, we need to strategic planning in the post-EU exist and COVID-19 world. Finance is one of the big areas that we try to go through different elements into this workshop and as well as the other 2 days. So it include working capital, cash flow management, long-term financing, performance forecasting, etc. Through your introduction and a little bit Kahoot background collection, and notice that most of you probably are the owner or the founder of the business. You probably won't get into the finance yourself. You have a finance team or accounting consultant to help you go through the finance. So therefore, in this situation, you might need to know what they are rather than look into details, but you need to really understand what these finance numbers means to you. Particularly under those circumstances, the COVID-19 cases, then you need to think about how to manage this finance, short-term and long-term as well. Hello, Paul, welcome.
Hi, sorry I'm so late.
Don't worry. We actually start recording the session. So could you please turn off your camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So therefore, you need to plan ahead to think about short-term, like within 3 months, a year, and then long-term, like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, even longer, to see how you can manage this in the process to help the business continuously grow. And this is where you need to make a decision whether you want to have a new business line or whether you want to stick with your existing business lines. So we'll talk about this a little bit later as well. Under such uncertainty, business need to become more adaptive. You need to improve the flexibility and to think how I'm going to quickly rebound if the business got the challenge going on. And that's where, again, the strategic level, the business owner need to see where is the vision of the business, how you can keep going, keep grow in this uncertainty. You need to think about how you can increase your independence, whether you do strategic sourcing or you have a supply chain or you have a customer that's actually hugely affected by the current situation amid this COVID-19, then how you can move this ahead. I bet a lot of business now considering do more online delivery of services to see how you can move the business ahead with the COVID-19. And that's the good point to think about now before given this uncertainty. That might have increased the competition, then it can reduce costs because some business might have severe difficulty to survive under such economic situation. It could be have less competition, it could be increased competition. It depends on the business line, depends on what the business or where the business operated really. You can also consider people, how to manage workforce, how to propose a contingency plan to keep the business operated as normal. So finance is one of the big areas we are going to explore today. The Growth Hub might have some other workshop going on to help you boost your confidence under COVID-19 and uncertainty. So access to finance, we are going to have a look at the past. The past is what is your company's previous experience of accessing finance, and how many success cases you have been gone through when you access finance. So this is the first step we need to look into. And then we move on to see what happened now, how to prepare for the future. I did have another Kahoot test, Kahoot game, if you like. but because the problem later on, because Teams, it does consume a lot of resources, my computer starts to getting slow, so I wouldn't use the Kahoot any longer. So anybody want to share with us about your previous experience of accessing finance for your business? Please raise your hand, give a hand, then I will call your name. Alan, please.
Yeah, with okay, with finance, I've being a small company, the problem that I'm finding is that if I want finance for customers, they're on different rates. I can't, as a small company, turning over less than 1 million, I can't seem to get a rate that I can say it's this rate for everybody. And I find that that's quite a barrier. That's the financing for customers. Personal financing for the business, I've not needed so far, but if anyone's got any suggestions of good places with small APRs, if there is such a thing, yeah, be interested to find out.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Christopher, anything you can share with us?
Not really. I mean, basically, I'm looking for equity investment.
Okay.
I've done all the, bank loans, overdrafts, and all that sort of thing in the past, and I'm now looking. I don't want to borrow any money. I want to sell bits of the company.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So equity investment. Thank you, Christopher. Well, what is the past experience of your business finance? Well, you need to unmute yourself first. Okay, Paul.
Hi. Our situation is that we've been going successfully for something like 15 years in China using a particular model that was expensive to run in the fact that we sent people over to China to do training. But now, of course, that's impossible. And anyway, we need to come up with a more economic model. So we've come up with that. We know what we want to do, but we need some investment to help us set it up, to get it going. So that's where we are. So we're currently looking at putting together a cogent and convincing business plan that's going to get people wanting to throw money at us.
Okay, yeah, good to know, Paul. Thank you. Will got a small startup loan, so that's his past experience. Yeah, if you think a chat function works better, don't worry. Just leave your comments in the chat function. I will check it as well. If you have other point to make, if you want to speak, just raise your hand. Either way is okay. Thank you. So if you look the past of your finance, your successful experience, or you probably use most of your own investment or family support, you might think about in current situation what to do. So that leads us to consider here and now. We have COVID-19 situation and economic situation. Another uncertainty is the Brexit deal. What will happen really after 31st of October? that will have a detrimental effect if something really not promising to the UK business. So hopefully things will go to the right direction. So what is the current position of your finance? So we talk about a couple of the introduction of your past experience. You mentioned that you are considering to attract some investors. Some prefer using the equity, some might prefer using loan, and that is helpful to know what is the current situation, how to grow the business to the next step. So the question you need to think about is, do you foresee any financial difficulties? If it is in financial difficulty, then no matter you use equity or you use debt, the borrowing cost will be very high. Like Alan said, the APR will be very high. You want to get a lower one so that it's more affordable. Access to finance is useful to know the sequence, what is the right finance for your business at the right time. So I will ask you to consider your current situation, to think about how to make the business grow. If you need finance, then we need to think about the future. What is the future plan? So that links to your business strategy, where you need finance, where you need money, where you can get the fund. So this is the most uncertainty moments because the EU exists because the COVID-19 crisis. UK, well, even though we didn't say now we are in recession, but officially, given the economic situation, it is in a recession period, or at least the start of a recession period. If the next few months, the COVID-19 situation is not controlled very well, then the economic will really shrink even further. The World Bank forecast the GDP growth of 5 points next year around the world, and this year is slightly better than the prediction is about 4.3 or 4.5% GDP growth. The worst situation currently is with India and Brazil. That's the most affected country at the moment. So for the business support, we have Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. So basically provides help and support in different areas. That links to the EU exists. There are business opportunities, industrial strategies, science, innovation, energy and clean growth, climate change investment, and they also have the support scheme for small business as well. COVID-19 guidance and the support, they have the information available on this government website as well. So if you think one of them helpful to manage the EU exist or COVID-19 situation, please do have a look at the website. Once after you receive this material, where you see the hyperlink, you can collect it and then have a look at that at your spare time. But sometimes when I share this, the website just when I use Teams, it starts to getting slow. So I will really, if it's really important, I will share that with you. The finance support for business during COVID-19, the government hub of coronavirus business support, they got funding and support. Bangkok, England has the measure to support business as well. The bounce back loan scheme for SME, each one of them is different. They do have the guidance and support, and depends on which one you need and what is the best for you to consider. They have the eligibility to see whether you are qualified to apply this loan. But at the same time, there are several other funds as well for the innovative business and the startup. So we'll quickly share one of them with you. I'm sure after COVID-19, you start to think about where you can get the support from government. So the bounce back loan, if you can see, this is the website from government, and they do talk about this eligibility. So you can borrow between 2,000, but maximum will be £50,000. And that has the requirements, what is required, how long the loan is for. It gives you more information. The COVID-19 business interruption loan scheme, this information you can find out from British Business Bank. They do have a lot of other useful resources as well, like finance options, which you can have a look as well. They provide different loans, and that's the scheme. Depends on how much you need, but the lender can provide up to 5 million in the form of term loans, overdraft, invoice finance, and asset finance. So again, this is more traditional finance. You need to have the business to use invoice finance, for example, or you have an asset as a collateral. But I do hear from business that they interrupt the loan from government. They do treat it. They will work with, some of them will work with banks, the high-street banks. So the bank will treat the coronavirus loan as a normal loan. So it takes weeks or even 2 months to process all the application and get the loan. And this 2 months means a lot for SMEs, particularly under such uncertainty. So that's where you need to prepare about the resources you have, how you can proceed with this loan, and check the eligibility about that finance. If you are in cutting-edge startups, then there are some funds available for the innovative startup as well, which you can have a look of the link I provide on the material. So I will go back to the slide. So economic downturns is, well, if you think about financial crisis in 2009, after 10 years, it's economic downturns again, but this time is economic downturn. No one really predict or forecast that will happen in such a way. Whenever it has a downturn situation, it generates a lot of challenges, but at the same time, it provides a lot of opportunities. The benefit of starting a new business lines in a downturn, it will make market demand and supply, so that you can see where is the market demand, what is the supply. So you might be able to quickly put information around and think what the business can do in this situation and how to generate cash inflows as quick as possible. Also consider in the long-term development. Competition may be less intense for great ideas and for financing. So overall, in such situation, particularly after COVID, the finance market shrink a little bit. Business angels or venture capitalists, most of them are holding and to see what will happen before they make their investment. But great ideas, they still get finance. So this all depends on the business to find out what is the right investor for your business and where you can find the relevant information. So the famous companies during this economic downturn, you might know a lot of information about Zoom. Zoom is one of the companies that increased their performance significantly after COVID-19 because it's virtual, because the demand for this conference or for this virtual communication increase significantly. Actually, most of the business actually start to, after the lockdown, start to use different virtual tools to communicate. Amazon is another successful case, particularly in COVID-19, because people change their shopping behavior. So the consumers' behavior change lead the change of the online shopping increased dramatically. And Amazon is one of the beneficial organization, actually company in this economic situation. Microsoft, you know that we are using Teams. We start to use Microsoft Office 365. So all the resources from Microsoft, and that lead to his share price increase dramatically as well. Ocado is another case that you might noticed recently, because Marks and Spencer Food acquire a significant amount of shares from Ocado. So Ocado worked with retailers before lockdown, and this generates a lot of extra demand actually in this online supermarket and delivery. Marks and Spencer Food, on the other hand, they don't provide a lot of online delivery, so people don't go to shop anymore. So that leads to their lot of shrink of the food hall in Marks and Spencer, and therefore they decide to really consider what will happen in the next few years or in the future. Online shopping is definitely the trend. So therefore they purchase Ocado, and from September, Ocado will deliver Marks and Spencer Food through their online supermarket. So there are a lot of opportunities. Of course, you think about, given COVID-19 cases, a lot of online delivery, online service, it starts to get more popular. So think about that as well. So the equity deals and the investments in the Grand Challenge is another way to think about what is the most demanding area in the next decade. The Grand Challenge, again, is innovative UK. So they provide the industrial trend to see what is the trend in the future, what is needed to develop UK as the whole economy. So the Grand Challenge got artificial intelligence, aging society, clean growth, future of mobility. So the fund in those areas, the total investment, it's AI attract the most. So that's got 403 million in the past years. Aging society, particularly in the UK, is another big field that for the government and for the society to work on. Clean growth, like the energy, clean energy, etc. That's where to reduce the CO2 emissions. So a lot of local council actually start to think about home environment and building environment. A lot of business in Essex, I know the hospital group actually to improve their facilities to reduce CO2 emission and try to reach zero emission. Future of mobility, so that's the electronic car, etc. So that's the mobility area. It depends on your business line, of course, depends on where you see the growth of the business, then you can consider whether it's a time for you to consider any business trend. And if there's a wave of future trend, you can stand on the first wave, then that will generate a lot of cash inflow. Let's put it in a blank way. So that you will pioneer the trend in the area and help the business grow. So the financing for the business, some of you has already mentioned that you use the loan, government programs, you use bank financing, you might use invoice financing, etc. So that depends on the business stage. If it is a startup or if it is early growth or rapid growth, you can consider different ways to raise finance. At the beginning, you might have a lot of investment from yourself, your family, your friends, a lot of bootstrapping investment, and then you will consider angel investors. So that's start to research and development or startup stage. And recently, a lot of angel investors, they do invest the later stage of the business as well. Venture capital is another big one. They invest in startup, early growth, and rapid growth. Recent years, they also invest in the exist stage like MBO, LBO, etc. Venture leasing, government programs, trade credit, factoring, franchising. So those are the traditional ways to get finance. Commercial bank lending, bank loan. So I'm sure some of you get that bank loan in your past finance. Magna lender. Magna lender means those are majority of venture capitalists. So they support the rapid growth stage or exist. And of course, they require quite higher return with their investment as well. Public debt, which means the company issue corporate bond, IPO will be publicly listed on London Stock Exchange, or if it is a merger and acquisition, LBO, or leveraged buyout or management buyout, MBO. So those are the exist stage that you can consider. So given the business situation currently, most of the business might at startup to rapid growth stage. So given this chart, you can consider if you prefer to use the traditional way of finance, then some of the factors, some of the source you can consider for the for your source of finance as well. So the process depends on the stage. This is just a simple diagram to signposting where you can go, what you need to do. For example, if you are a startup venture, for example, then is the need immediate or urgent? If it is a yes, then you can do existing shareholders, friends, bootstrapping, etc. If it is no, then you consider how big is the financing need. If it is small, then equity or debt. If it is large, then you can use more source of finance for equity and debt. So it depends on the stage which you can consider how to proceed with this. If it is early growth, you've got more resources, as you can see. If it is a late stage, then that's expansion stage, you can consider IPO or strategic partner, etc. It depends on the strategy of the business, of course, what you see the growth of the business. One of the areas I want to draw your attention is about innovative financing and fintech. Innovative financing and fintech I will cover in three sources of finance. One is P2P, second is crowdfunding, and the third one is cryptocurrency. So it depends on the situation. Probably crowdfunding is more suitable based on our situation. But anyway, I will briefly introduce them. Then you can make the decision which one is the most suitable platform for you to proceed funding application. So P2P, it got borrowers, internet platform, lenders. So it's more like to provide secured loan and unsecured loan. In other words, it only issued debt. So estimated 2.9 billion in 2017 is still quite popular. Crowdfunding, again, it got a platform, an internet-based platform. It got creators and backers. I will explain the difference a little bit in more detail later on. So it expanded rapidly from 2009. Again, that's financial crisis moment. It generates more interest in crowdfunding, an estimate in 34.4 billion in 2015, with an estimate 300 billion in 2025. There are 4 types of crowdfunding: reward-based, donation-based, equity-based, and loan-based. So each one of them will generate different interests, have different type of investors, and you need to look into what is the best suitable one for your business finance. In the UK, we have UK Crowdfunding Association. They provide more information about crowdfunding. Cryptocurrency is digital currency using blockchain technology. So this is, again, started from 2009. That's where people want to find out that financial crisis, it generates a detrimental effect to the economy, to investors, started from American and spread globally. So therefore, there are a group of people think that we want to actually have more deregulated financial channel. We want to create this digital currency. This blockchain technology means each individual can secure that cryptocurrency using their system. There's no central government, no central banking can dominate or control this cryptocurrency. That's why it is widely accepted after financial crisis. And recently, you might know the name Bitcoin quite a lot because the rocket high price of Bitcoin, the price of the cryptocurrency recently. It raised in excess of 3 billion for businesses in 2017, but most of the funding actually goes to the startup company for blockchain businesses than the traditional venture capitalists. So therefore, you need to, of course, to categorize your business into one of those industry and to see what is the most suitable method for you to raise finance. Neobank is digital banks. At the moment, it's not developed like a dominant stream of business finance yet, but in the next 5-10 years, it could be. You might, I mean, yourself might be a shareholder for one of the neobanks, like Monzo or any other. So that's where you need to consider the trend and where you can attract the investor. For individual investor, there's an innovative finance ISA. Actually, you know what is ISA. For innovative finance, the ISA again offer this tax-free finance in that channel. If you're interested, please do explore a little more using the link. So if you think about to have access to finance, you can, if you have been using traditional finance and want to use some innovative finance, then you can use the following links that I provide here to give you some idea about the innovative finance. Southeast Business Hub, that's the best growth hub that you can provide a lot of finance information about COVID-19 finance as well. So please do explore that a little bit if that is the suitable finance channel for you at the moment, particularly under COVID-19 situation. Finpoint is another, a partner with Southeast Business Finance Hub, a business hub. It actually provides quite a range information about the source of finance. I find it's quite interesting that I provide this. Let me just go to here as well, then I can share my internet with you. So I go to Hello, we got some noise, background noise. Could you please turn off your mic? Thank you. So the Business Finance Guide is part of the British Business Bank. They provide a lot of information about finance, including investors and the business finance, pay attention to points, etc. So what they do, they provide this link to help you to think, what is the best finance for me? It's not just COVID-19 related, actually, for all the business, but in COVID-19, you might think that is more helpful. So if you are, let's say, if you are early stage pre-profit, which means this is early stage of a business, you didn't generate any profit yet, but you think this is a business idea that will be attractive to investors. So that's where you choose this category. If you are established and think I'm quite stable, now I'm considering to open a new business line, etc., then you can use the established stable. It depends on, so this is the stage of your business at. Then you can go to step 2. What step 2 is this. They ask you to think about your plan. What do you want to do? Why you ask this fund? So this is very important for you to think about what you need to do. So for example, if you think about now I want to, let's say, improve cash position because of COVID-19, or maybe you want to launch a product services brand. So I take that one, and then you can move ahead. It will provide you finance options. It gives you some idea about each one of them to think which one is more suitable. Another information website, useful website, is Finpoint, that partnered with Southeast Business Hub. They provide different channel here to support you to raise finance, and they try to, for each one of them, for example, if you want to apply for working capital, so you can apply funding, and then it again goes through this information, personal details, and then they will try to match a funder for you. Again, it depends on the point, and I understand that this could take a little bit while. Any application or finance could take a little bit while. So under such circumstances, a lot of business will strive to survive. And do you have the resources to go through all the paperwork, etc.? This is where you need to consider what to do. Any source of finance, if you don't demonstrate that you would be able to generate future cash flow to repay the loan or to generate profit to shareholders, then it's difficult to receive the fund. So therefore, you need to prepare accordingly. So at this stage, I'm thinking to ask some of you to share your plan, to think about your business, your current situation, and to think about where you think you want to get the finance from. What is your choices or preference, let's say? Anybody want to share with us your plan to access finance? Simon? You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say anything.
Okay, yeah. No problem. Paul?
Yeah. Basically, what we would like to do is we would like to attract an angel investor.
Okay.
And the reason why we think we have a chance with that is because certainly a number of the products or the services we provide are to do with education and improving life chances of young people in China. So we think there could be potentially some Chinese angel investors who might like the idea of being involved in such a project.
Okay, angel investor. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We got Alan.
Hi, I don't need any. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Yeah, I don't need any business investment at the moment.
Right.
I've been listening and taking notes, but I do require finance for customers. So maybe that will come up later.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Catherine?
Yeah, I'm here.
What is your plan to attract finance? What source of finance you prefer to use?
Actually, I don't know much about it. That's why I'm attending this seminar.
All right, no worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share your thoughts at this stage? So the angel investor or venture capital, it got its own advantages. We will particularly look into this equity investment, venture capital in day 3 to think about investors in what they need and how you can produce the outcome that they look for, the profit they look for. Of course, any investment, they are seeking return. And that's where all the investors, they might, depends on the type of investors, particularly the type of investment. For example, if you use equity, then the equity investments seek higher return than that. In other words, if you borrow from bank, the cost of that loan will be lower than the return to shareholders. Therefore, shareholders, they look for return, not just capital return, they might look for dividends or bonus, for example. However, if you use that alone, then you just pay interest. So there's different type. However, the angel investment or venture capitalists, they do provide their knowledge and expertise into your business running. Some business might not lose a lot of shares of or control of the business. Others might think we need this type of expertise. It's case by case. There's no one size fits all. Therefore, you need to have the big picture about your business and know the investors before you make a final decision which source you're going to approach to access finance. For the innovative finance, we have P2P platforms. The big 3 in the UK is Drupa, Readiness, and Funding Circle. So Drupa, all of the P2P, they are loan-based platform. So they provide a loan. They actually seek to get the interest from the investment. So Drupa was founded in 2005, first in the UK, but they secured a license to become a bank in 2020. Readiness launched in 2010, the largest in the UK. However, it was acquired by Mantle Bank in 2020. And Funding Circle is publicly listed on London Stock Exchange. It temporarily closed its business to everyday investors in 2020. So all the P2P platforms, the big three in the UK in 2020, they are not growing. They shrink a little bit. The strategy of the P2P platform changed in 2020. And you notice that two of them actually maybe turned into bank or want to run the bank business lines in the future. So this Zupa and Readsetter, they have stopped attract individual investments in their platform. All the funding from Readsetter after acquired by Metro Bank will be provided by Metro Bank. So that is the change of strategy. Similar to Funding Circle, it closed its business to everyday investor as well. So P2P, again, it depends on, but if it is not on the reader or your business agenda to approach P2P, then that's good. If it is, please do a little bit more or wait a little bit longer to see their strategy before you approach to ask fund from them. Crowdfunding platform, like we discussed, it has been increased rapidly after 2009. It does generate a lot of hope from business. Anybody got great idea, they can attract investors through crowdfunding platform. A lot of business, because it's pre-profit, even this idea, they go to bank, they go to angel investors, it's a no case. However, on the crowdfunding, it make a good start. So what crowdfunding is, they got a platform, they got the campaign to attract to the backer. The backer is individual investor, could be a business, could be individual like you and me. So we got spare cash and then we invest on the project that we hold belief in. Then that is the crowdfunding. And I mentioned earlier on as well, the Innovative Finance ISA do provide investors to get tax-free return to a certain amount using on the crowdfunding platform. So therefore, it is quite attractive to individual investor, like anybody got spare cash, they don't want to just deposit on the in the bank or invest it on stock exchange. They can invest in crowdfunding platform. Part of that crowdfunding platform for this, we got 4 types, remember? Reward type, loan type, equity type, and donation type. So this crowdfunding, I don't want to, there's no commercial interest at all for the crowdfunding here. I just share with you the most successful crowdfunding platform. So that will give you a start to do a little bit of research if this is of your interest and if this is what you think that could be helpful. So if you are looking for equity-based investment, then you could consider Seedrs or Go or Crowdcube. So Crowdcube, it launched in 2011. In 2019, it reached found about 600 million. Seedrs founded in 2012, in 2020. Sorry, you didn't see my slide. I just realized that. Sorry about that. I'm going to share that now. There we go. So the Seedrs founded in 2012 and in 2020 it raised 1.24 billion. These two, again, I don't want to raise the hope of you to say, okay, we got crowdfunding platform, we can go there and get our finance from those investments. There's no promise that you will be successful if you use the crowdfunding platform. It does have a lot of successful projects going on the different platforms, but the failure rate is quite high as well. If I could quickly take you to one of them, Sears, let's say, then you would see that this is where, right, I need to share that with you. Okay, let me go to here. There we go. So this is Cedars. Like I say, no commercial interest at all. It's to show you one of the crowdfunding platform in the UK. It's quite successful one. If you want to invest, if you want to raise fund, you can choose which one of them you want to join. Then that will take you through the information, right? So that information, again, if you continue, that will go into the record and that will calculate how much money you possibly can raise. That's a little bit longer to go through that. So let me take you to have a quick look at the invest. The invest section actually gives you some idea about the current investment opportunity. In other words, if you are an investor, you can invest in those. But from another angle, from business angle, is what has been successfully funded on crowdfunding platform. What sort of business can receive finance from this platform? So that's the information you will be able to get from the investor function. For example, you will be able to see that that is the target, that's the valuation of the business, for example, for each one of them. This urban project, can you see the urban project? This is the wellness app for busy people. Book, message, beauty, fitness, and more with a pro, anytime, anywhere. So that's the brief of the project. The valuation of the business is 42.8 million. The target is 2 million. And how much money they raised? They raised about 294%. How many investors? 906 investors. So this is one of the investment going on here. The 2 million project is relatively a big project here, but you see it's quite successful because they raised 294% of the money they need. They also give you other information about the project. Of course, after today, you could look into the project or think about whether this is suitable. And of course, I don't want to raise your expectation that you will get funding from crowdfunding platform, but that is one of the innovative finance channel that you can consider. Of course, this is equity investment. In other words, the money you raise here, the investor here, they will be the shareholder of your business, right? So this is one thing you need to consider. This is equity type of crowdfunding platform. So you can look into what is going on. This is convertible, of course, it depends on. Maybe just have a quick look at the project we just talked about. So when you do the crowdfunding, when you consider to use crowdfunding, you will know that the investor or the investor is not a bank. You don't face a bank directly. Is investors from different areas. So that's what it is. And this company is founded in London in 2014. Of course, they will provide information here, what's the project about. You can ask questions here as well. So that is how much money they receive. They receive 5 million, more than 5 million from 906 investors. With that 2 million target, you see that is quite a successful one. But again, it doesn't mean everybody will success, right? The failure rate is still quite high. And the team is where if you sign up, I don't want to sign in now, but if you sign up, you would be able to see the information, who has been investing in this project, and documents would be give you some ideas about the project. It depends on what you look for, really. But like I mentioned, it does require a lot of resource to think what you can do with this channel, with this crowdfunding platform. So see this is equity-based platform, and you still need to prepare a lot of information to let the investor attract their interest and to think this is profitable and this is the project that they think that will do good to them and to society, etc. So it could generate a lot of controversy, for example, could attract a lot of investors. Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they are reward-based. Prosper and Kiva is loan-based. These two, again, they are two biggest in the UK. They are quite successful in raising finance. For example, Prosper, founded in 2005, and it got 14 billion in 2019. So it's they one that is quite popular among the business. GoFundMe and Just Giving is donation-based crowdfunding. I'm sure you heard about them before. Use them actually to support some individual business to go through COVID-19 or the other cases. So those are the crowdfunding platform. And again, it does require a lot of research to know the platform, to think about what is the right investor if you want to raise a finance. No matter you want to use crowdfunding platform or not, it's good to get to know them. It's good to collect the information, to follow certain cases, project or platform, to make some notes about what type of investors they attract and what project they invest in. Then when you, in the future, in case you want to consider crowdfunding platform, then you would be able to use these resources. So we will have some takeaway note for you to consider. One of them is strategic planning under uncertainty. I will share that with you. Second one is we have another case study next week. So if possible, please do go through the case study before day 2. We have the performance measurement survey, venture capital to get to know more about them. In day 3, we'll particularly focus on knowing your investors so that you will know equity investment, venture capital, and crowdfunding in more detail to prepare to get them know the prepared funding. What I like to do. All right, I will show you with that in a sec. So anybody want to share with us your thoughts at this moment about finance, or maybe the challenge in COVID-19, or your experience if you seek finance using different channel? What is your experience? Any business actually seek COVID-19 grant recently?
Yeah, this is Alan Harris. I got a bounce back loan.
Okay.
That was really helpful.
All right.
And, it got me through the COVID because I'm in people's houses a lot, doing renewable energy. And as soon as COVID came, everything stopped. So my business closed really.
Yeah.
And so it sort of helped me get through the cash flow crisis. And it's very, very slowly starting up again.
Okay, great. That's good to know.
I think it will increase a lot though, because we have to pay for COVID, and it's going to affect. It's going to impact on everybody's bills. So, I think that people will be invested in renewables just to sort of stop taking the hit from the rate rise. The price rises that are going to come. So hopefully it will pick up for me.
Yeah. I think for the energy sector or for the industrial strategy, particularly maybe the government want to support more energy efficiency area. There is a home or business that will, let's say, from another angle, under this COVID-19 cases, will boost the economic confidence. I did a project with another council, is about energy efficiency. Particular focus on their financial incentive to see what motivate people to do those energy efficiency improvements in their business or home. And a lot of business and household actually mentioned that the government should invest into building industry, invest into energy efficiency industry, particularly under this COVID-19 situation, that will generate a little bit more job opportunities, keep the economy going. And I think that's the government strategy somehow. We do have more positive news about building homes, building GP practice, building surgeries, as well as the heavy road. So that's the positive thing. Yeah, I think the other thing I would like to know a little bit more, Simon, is about the experience when you seek that loan or finance. Was it smooth? Is it quick?
Yeah, the process was really, really quick. I got finance within 48 hours.
Wow, that's really impressive. Yeah, that
was money in my bank within 48 hours.
Wow, good to know. I bet different businesses might have different experience in terms of this COVID-19 loan. Another business, I know that it took quite long for them to get to the fund, and it takes a lot of resources from them as well to prepare the loan. So it depends on. That's good to know that the fund to your business is quite smooth and quick. That's very helpful. Anybody else? You use the COVID-19 loan? What was your experience? Lily.
Yes, I'm trying to to find to build pretty much everything in the picture, about the investment. So basically, we are actually education training and talent development. So we work a lot, not just here, but more in China, to develop technical skills for young people, and also the readiness for the young people to be able to be employed. So this is a very high demanding needed service. But obviously, I don't know which kind of investors we should approach, because although we are innovative and we are building this business really bespoke for the Chinese students who come over here study or get jobs, specifically individualized service for them, so they have the positive experience in the UK, that they can enjoy their life. But we can't say we are innovation, not high tech innovation. You know what I mean? We are more, this kind of software rather than hardware. If you develop an app, then the investors, they understand it. But for our quite unique, innovative business model, I just feel, because I'm the business development and global business strategy person for EFEC, so I feel like when I go out to meet with potential investors, they only understand maybe the end of the outcomes, but rather than really understand the importance our business can add to this international market. So could you, Dr. Ying Wang, could you give me some idea, how I can make myself understood? Because I think the problem for us is, we are overlooked sometimes by investors. Because
all right, yeah,
thank you.
So given what you said, I think the situation now, most of the angel investors or venture capitalists, they actually hold their fund in investment. It doesn't really, like you said, that you probably provide more software service rather than hardware. You provide this add value business that is quite attractive, and you are right. You need to seek the right investor into to make an investment into your business. What I think more suitable, it depends on your business strategy or vision, what it can add into make this service, make this community better. It will be useful, let's say, if you link a little bit more technology in terms of the service you provide. Rather, I'm not quite sure the business mode of strategy, how you are going to run this business. Is a face-to-face or physical contact, or is it online? And given this COVID-19, definitely if you promote an online version of these services, I think you can attract more investors, because the new norm is if there's another virus, physical delivery of anything will be stopped, maybe shrinked or reduced, but online will continue. So you need to have that flexibility in your business version. In other words, the business plan needs to reflect how the business will continuously develop no matter what situation in the future the business will fall into. That's the first thing. Think about the strategy, the business plan, and definitely link to the online mode of delivery. You probably say we have no plan to develop an app, but do you have like a platform or social media or any way to attract, to link this, to provide these services, and link the services that you provide more freely? That's first thing about the business plan. Secondly, the investor. I think once you set up the business plan, you will be able to see the right investor more likely to be angel investor, maybe a little bit venture capitalist, and could try the crowdfunding if your business has more confidence in crowdfunding platform. And back to this finance, then you need to think about how to make this attractive to the investor. You need to think about whether you need their expertise in the field. So equity investments, you will be able to have equity investment like angel investor, venture capitalist, a crowdfunding platform as well. If it is debt investment, then you just pay interest. You wouldn't get expertise. If you want to use the investor's network, experience, knowledge, then that's equity investment. So equity investment, of course, you can seek angel investor. That's pretty much, we'll start with the education sector to use the network to see who is the angel, who is actually the angel in this sector. It doesn't mean a lot of angel or venture capitalists, they have a lot of interest in education sector, particularly with those online delivery. And that's back to back to 5 years ago. The interest in online delivery, no matter what type of education, starts to attract investors' interest and their attention to make a lot of improvements in the online delivery. So angel investor, where you find them, you can, in the UK, we have angel, I'll share that with you. The British Private Equity and Venture Capital Association, UK Business Angel Association. So you could find some business angels information through those two websites. And those two websites also provide a lot of pay attention to points that when you use, help you to make a decision when you use PE, VC, or BA. I still think probably start with business angel. But if you this is a new business line, the venture capital could be another channel. In the UK or either actually in China, there are a lot of venture capital companies you can seek, because you mentioned that you link UK and China. So in your case, it's good though, because you can access finance in both countries, not solely focus on the UK investors. You can expand to two countries. So I think when you work with PE and VC, as far as I know, a lot of funding actually received from network. So definitely need to do a little bit more network process to prepare this funding application. If you are interested in crowdfunding, then the Seeders is equity crowdfunding platform you can look into, or the Prosper is the loan-based crowdfunding. So the three ways, it really depends on if business angel is very difficult, then you can difficult to find where the business angel is. For example, it could be an individual investor. It's difficult to find out. You can try the venture capital. Venture capitalists, there are a lot of companies, of venture capital companies. Then you can certainly do a little bit pitch to them to attract their attention, and they will be able to come back to you to say, we are interested in this project. There are quite a lot of other things to consider in this venture capital investment, which I will be able to share more information tomorrow and the final day. So that will give you more idea if you approach to venture capitalists, as well as the crowdfunding in third day. So that will give you a little bit more idea. Sometimes it's you are right. It's very difficult to find the right investor, and it takes time to find the right investor. But don't give up your hope. You need to keep pitch yourself to the investor, and I'm sure if the project is really, really unique, the great idea will attract the right investor. But it take time. Like I say, it does take a lot of time to prepare these documents, prepare the page, which we will discuss page in day 3 as well. But don't give up your hope.
Thank you very much. I think this is very informative, and yeah, we actually started the business plan, and we also yeah, I think with this 3-day training, and definitely we'll get a lot of more support from. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Couple of, not this year, but before this year, before the COVID-19, we do have some like a workshop, or actually it's venture capitalists and business angel came to Cambridge to meet new entrepreneurs or young entrepreneurs to provide fund to them. So yes, I got that moment to hold your business plan to try to get the angels' attention to the, this is the project that you must invest in. So that's quite important to build the network and speak to the person who can, the right person who can help you to make this bridge or link to the venture capitalist. Network helps a lot in this investment, private investment area.
Yeah, great advice. Thank you very much.
No problem. Anybody else want to share your experience or any questions? Sorry, I can't hear clearly, Christopher. There are some background noises. You can tap your comments in the chat function. How about Will? Any comments, Will? No. Right, let me have a look at the, okay, not at the moment, that's fine. Okay. Thank you. So tomorrow, let me share this with you first. Tomorrow, we will go through a case study on a company that try to attract interest of a venture capital company, and they do have a lot of concerns when they approach to a venture capital, and particularly link this case study. It includes several points, like key areas we try to focus on. That includes the business strategy, the different opinion about different strategy when you have an investor that actually try to take you away from what you want to do, how to handle that. And the core focus, of course, tomorrow is on valuation. So you see that from this case study, it got strategic vision, it got due diligence, terms for investing, valuation is a big area that we will go through to see whether that is the fair value in terms of their investment compared to the shares you will offer to the investors. And the others is the information from the forecast. So when we do valuation, we will look into your past information and then make projection for the revenue, income, and cash flow. So that's the forecast element. We will go through different valuation techniques to give you some idea what could help you to do this evaluation of a business value and how you can use the valuation techniques to negotiate with an investor. And this is very important, particularly when you seek a fund from an external investor. They will offer you a price, but of course you want to know that how to negotiate, how to get the better deal from the investment. And a lot of information about due diligence, proposed terms. This term sheet is another areas that you need to pay attention to, because once you sign this term sheet, that's the legal binding right that you have to follow those. No matter what happens, is signed, is agreed. That is where I will show you tomorrow, because valuation itself is quite complex. The techniques that I will go through tomorrow, it increase several techniques. Based on the diversity of our background, it might be difficult to ask you to do the valuation. So I won't actually to do the valuation in detail, but I will draw upon the key information in this valuation to show you how to evaluate a business value, what point we need to pay attention to, and that is the areas, important areas you need to pay attention to when you negotiate with investor. Different areas, I will go through this case study with you tomorrow in detail. So what I would maybe, okay, did you get my email address? So I will send my email address on the chat function. Then you will, if you want the materials from today, please send me an email. I will forward all the workshop material to you. Alternatively, you can get it from the Growth Hub directly as well. So Christopher, you got your hands up?
Yes, I was just asking that all these materials we can get hold of. They're all downloadable, yeah?
Yes. If you send me email, I can send you all the materials right after the workshop.
Yeah. I didn't get your email.
No. You need to send me. Oh, right. My email address, I will send that via the chat function. Is ying.wang.
YNG dot.
If you check the chat function, you get my email address there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let me know your email address. I will forward all the materials to you. If you're happy to send me your email address to me, that's fine. Either way, that will work.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So the chat function is where?
If you put your mouse on your Teams main screen, move your mouse around, there will have a navigation channel. You see there's a camera, a mic. Did you see that navigation?
Yeah, I've got that up, yeah.
Yeah. Then next to the hand, you see a message panel. Click it, then that will see the chat. There you see my email address.
Yeah, got it. Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you. Feel free to leave your email address there. I can send it to you directly too. Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Great, I hear you now very well. I couldn't hear properly before. Catherine, do you have a question?
Sorry, I just pressed the wrong button.
All right, don't worry, that's fine. I got your email address, so I will send the materials to you today.
Okay.
Is there any comments before we finish today?
Just like to say thank you very much. That was good, interesting.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So I will
Thanks for your time.
finish here and look forward to see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks for your time. Bye now.
Bye.